You know, a common misconception is that games cannot survive without gacha. I can't believe I'm saying that's a common misconception, but it is, because there's a lot of people who came into gaming from gacha games and have basically only played gacha games or games with really aggressive monetization models. But there have been tons of other games that have survived without the gacha model in the past, and there are tons of games that are surviving right now without a gacha model. If you want me to name just a few, you have like Fortnite, League of Legends. For PvE games, you have Warframe. Yeah, there are games with paid DLCs, but my point is not that games can survive for free. My point is that games can survive without making $30 million a month. It does not cost that much to develop a game, especially when the main game is already done. The rest of the money is just gonna go to marketing and then creating the next few patches. And as long as they're making more money than they're putting in, the game's in a good state. If they're making less money than they're putting in, then the game's not in a great state, but usually that doesn't mean the end of service right away, unless you're Blue Protocol Japan. But anyways, the reason that I bring that up is because times are changing. Things are not quite the same as they used to be, and you're seeing this sort of shift in monetization strategies as games go from gacha exclusive over to there's some cosmetics that are gacha, but the game is free to play and all the characters are obtainable. And I love that. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Recently, we had the announcement of Duet Night Abyss removing character gacha, and weapon gacha was removed as well, even though you were already able to craft them. What they did is they just said, yeah, you can just earn everything in game, and you just play everything in game and enjoy it. And that is amazing. And you know what else is even crazier than that? Another game has just done the same thing. Ananta is no longer a gacha game. Now, if you guys saw the previous video that I uploaded, which was about the Ananta trailer, you probably saw a lot of great gameplay. If you're interested in seeing what Ananta looks like, by the way, there was a huge reveal. I recommend checking out that video. But something that we weren't sure about is whether or not they had gacha or not in the game. And honestly, I actually think that was the fault of the marketing team. I don't know why they didn't market this, but for some reason, they just decided not to, which is why I'm so stoked to share this Famitsu article that basically confirms all playable characters can be welcomed as long as you play. This is a poor Google translation version, all to say Ananta has no character gacha and you can earn everything in game. Now, a lot of people that don't play gacha games, they look at this and they're like,
wow, this is so funny. Look at all these gacha weebs like freak out about their game removing gacha. It's just a regular game now.
But the thing is, like, gacha game developers have fully had the ability to make fantastic games that don't nickel and dime the consumer, that will make more than enough money to stay afloat and more than enough money to profit the company and profit the business as a whole. But they just have chosen not to because it's so much easier to produce slop. It really is. I understand it's hard to call something like Wuwa or Genshin or Honkai Star Rail slop because the games are such high quality games, right? Like, they look amazing. The anime style is great. And honestly, I actually think the gameplay of the games is good up until you run out of things to do, which happens very quickly because the only gameplay content in those games is the story quests, the side quests, the exploration, and the characters. And most of those things that I mentioned are all about trying to get the new character. So let's break this down a little bit, just so if you guys don't understand, I want you guys to be able to know what I'm saying and make sure there's no like confusion at all. So what I'm saying is the worst part of a gacha game is the gacha. These games, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, again, I'm just using them as examples because they're popular, right? Those games could have been incredible by themselves without gacha. They did not need gacha to be good, and in fact, they could be much better if they didn't have gacha. Imagine Honkai Star Rail, but you can actually unlock the characters by doing challenges. You know how we got like Shrey in Memory of Chaos? Something like that, but it's for all the characters. Then you have like a really hard sustain challenge where you have to survive just waves and waves of enemies that hit really, really hard, and at the end you unlock Aventurine, right? Stuff like that. Those sorts of gameplay progression loops give you an actual incentive and a goal to play the game. And since that goal is actually achievable for players, people will actually grind out those games and they'll enjoy it. And once they've unlocked the character, they'll feel a sense of pride and accomplishment, as EA would put it. Except it's like actual pride and accomplishment and not like, oh, you pulled this character on a gacha pride and accomplishment. The problem is that all of the gacha games models are basically made so that way you pull on the gacha, and that's the gameplay. Why do you do exploration? Is it to go find a legendary weapon that you're gonna buff your characters with? Well, you can get some 4-star weapons, but they're not as good as the gacha weapons, and honestly, a lot of them are just straight up ass, right? Is it to go find another character? No, because that's in the gacha. Your purpose for exploring is maybe to see the world a little bit, but what's your purpose for 100%ing? Maybe you're a completionist, but most of us are exploring to get premium currency for a chance to pull on a character, right? Why do you do daily quests? Is it so that you can unlock a really cool sword? Is it so you can unlock a cosmetic? No, it's so you can get currency to pull for a new character. Why would you do this event? Is it to get this exclusive reward? Maybe. Like some of the event rewards in like WoW, for example, the weapon skins are cool. Some of the exclusive weapons in Genshin are cool, but most of the time, the events are just going to be offer a little bit more resources in the game. And the premium currency isn't even just for pulling characters, right? It's for refreshing stamina, which is an artificial limiter they put in the game to make people spend on the game. In addition to that, they put that limiter in so that way people would have to play the game longer because they know that the game does not have enough content to sustain the player base. So these are all things that you guys probably already know. Like I feel like most of you guys are aware of this, but there are some people that just genuinely don't understand it. That's why gacha is the worst part of gacha games. They could just be games. They don't have to have gacha. Now, gacha for cosmetics, is it evil? Absolutely. But it doesn't affect the gameplay. You don't have to build the entire game's gameplay around the gacha system, which means you can just ignore it and your gameplay experience doesn't really change, which means the game can still be good. But as soon as you make it so that the game has to have gacha system tied to it and all of the rewards and everything have to be tied to unlocking the new character, all of this exploration for 20 hours just for a chance to enjoy the game again once every 3 to 6 weeks, it's just not super worth it, right? So when a game announces its gacha system for characters and they decide to just build the characters in-game and make it so that these are unlockable, things that you can actually work towards, they've essentially said, okay, we're gonna make this game good. And that's literally all it means. Now, here is something that a lot of people have concerns about. A lot of people are concerned about, well, maybe they're gonna make it so you can buy the characters and that grinding them takes way too long and it's gonna be a hassle to grind them. The thing is that a lot of people misunderstand is that like grinding games as a chore is a direct result of companies' decision to over monetize games. The grind in games doesn't exist because games are grindy. It exists because companies want to make money. But if you make a game that's fun and the grind is enjoyable, then it doesn't feel like grinding. And that's why I say that, right? If you enjoy the grind of a game, if you enjoy doing relic weapons in Final Fantasy XIV, which I'll be honest, most people don't, right? But if you enjoy doing savage raids every single week to try and get your gear, if you're having fun while you're doing those things, it's not a grind, right? It's just a good time. And that, if you can play a game and have a good time and unlock the new character and then have a good time with that character, that's just a good game. That's just an enjoyable experience. So is it possible that these characters could take a ridiculous amount of time to unlock and then maybe you have to buy the characters if you want to skip that time? Yeah, it's possible. But just by the fact that there is not going to be a gacha system in this game, this tells me they are focused on making the game good. And you guys are seeing right now on screen, this trailer looks absolutely fantastic. This looks so enjoyable. I think if this game releases before GTA 6, it'll pull in so many players just by the fact that it's an anime GTA and does not have gacha. Guys, I'm gonna be so real. Gacha games have become synonymous with gambling slop. There are so many people who will not go near a gacha game because of the monetization model of it and how cheap they feel and how doing daily quests is repetitive and how having to spend stamina every single day because there's nothing else to do in the game and they want to make sure that you log in every single day to please investors is a thing. They don't want to deal with that. People just won't go near it. But the second that you remove gacha, that's just a free-to-play game with microtransactions and people are already used to those and people can enjoy those and have a great time. Look at Warframe. Why do you think Duet Night Abyss went that way? Well, it's because honestly, guys, and you can tell me if you feel this way too, personally, I think that people are fatigued. People are tired of gacha games. And I get it. You're tired. I'm tired. We're both tired. These companies, man, they're evil. And all they want to do is make the most money possible. And it doesn't matter if they have to do it via gambling, if they have to lock content behind a paywall and give you the illusion of choice and chance to beat it. They're going to do whatever they can to make money. But in doing that so much, in constantly just letting the consumer be the punching bag for so long, we're finally starting to see the point where the consumers are waking up. People are deciding, oh, wait, actually, maybe this is shit. And it's honestly so amazing, you guys. It is so great because I've been saying this for years and so many of you guys have been too, that this gacha thing, it's not great. You can have games be fun that are gachas. I'm not trying to say that all gacha games are unfun because I wouldn't be playing gacha games if I didn't enjoy them a little bit, but they can be so much more if they weren't so restricted by their monetization strategies. So with all of that in mind, I am stoked for Ananta. I think Ananta could be a very, very fun game for a lot of people and honestly quite refreshing. But more importantly than that, guys, I am so glad people are waking up to this gacha game bullshit. Every time a new gacha comes out, people spend less on each gacha. The money is kind of like plateauing and it's kind of spreading out between the other gacha games. And game developers are realizing, okay, we've kind of hit the market cap for this. It's not gonna go higher. So what if we just make the game good so that way it can compete with all of the other games that are already on the market? And I'll tell you what, guys, if these guys make an incredible game, it'll destroy these gacha games. It will, it really will. So I'm just really happy that two major games that we were looking forward to already on the channel, Ananta and Duet Night Abyss, have both gone the direction of no character gacha. I think Ananta will probably have cosmetic gacha and stuff, but as long as it doesn't affect the core gameplay, that's fine by me. Honestly, I just don't really care about cosmetic gacha. I just won't spend, right? Personally, for me, I just won't spend on that. There will be people who spend. Ananta will make a ridiculous amount of money, but they don't have to do it through characters, which is amazing. Yeah, the company's gonna take a hit, guys. Absolutely, they're gonna take a hit, but the experience has the opportunity to be so much more enjoyable, and I really hope some more of the anime gachas we were looking forward to will become not anime gachas and will just become anime live service, because that's really what a lot of people are looking forward to. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna be at Tokyo Game Show for the next little bit. If you guys wanna see some gameplay of Ananta, I've got confirmation that I will be able to play that, record it for you guys. It'll be like over my phone, so it won't be like the highest quality, but I will be playing Ananta and I will be uploading a video on it, unsponsored, just my honest thoughts on it. If you guys are interested, make sure to subscribe, make sure that you have the bell on, and let me know, are you guys excited for Ananta? What do you think of the current state of gacha games? I honestly feel like they're kind of dead right now. People are getting tired of playing the same thing over and over, and they're tired of the same game releasing over and over. And finally, I feel like we're breaking free of the cycle with Duet Night Abyss and Ananta, so really looking forward to these games. Let me know what you think. I'll catch you next time.